Hi, I'm ACR member Liam, and today we're here at Combat Zone Sports, Merritt Island, Florida, to review the Tippmann M4 Carbine. Pew. So I have the retail box for the Tippmann M4 Carbine. I'm going to open it up for you guys so you see what's inside. Obviously we have the Tippmann M4 Carbine. Set that to the side. It has a little bit of wrapping in it, kind of keep the gun pretty so it doesn't get scratched up while it's getting transported. It has its 80 round mid-capacity proprietary mag, which has the area for the CO2 cartridge, so it can run off the CO2 cartridges. Then we have the AR wrench for taking out the delta nut so you can get to the rails. Put that aside. So I have the little bag of goodies here. Inside of it has the rail segments, as well as the Allen keys for doing the takedown on the replica, as well as the oil for maintaining it. Then the piece de la resistance, which is the Tippmann M4 manual. This is the Bible for the replica. So if you want to know anything as far as the mechanical wear of the gun, this is where you'd go to find it. Read up. Now we're going to move on to the carbine itself. We're going to go over the external construction first, then we'll go into the internals. For the externals, we have an aluminum construction for the upper and lower receiver. The rails are plastic, high-grade polymer. The outer barrel is the same kind of aluminum the receiver is made out of. The buffer tube is metal. The stock is actual stock that comes with is plastic, and the grip is plastic, high-grade polymer, all of it, for at least all the plastic parts. It also has the Tippmann sights, which are based off of the Magpul MOE style. So you press down and they flip up. Same goes for the back. The front of the barrel, you can put on, it's 14 millimeter counterclockwise, so if you wanted to put your suppressor or you wanted to put a different flash hider other than the orange one, you can do that. So for your hop-up, it's a proprietary hop-up. It's built to the upper receiver, so you can't take it out like your typical M4 airsoft replica. So to get to the actual hop-up, got to pull back the charging handle, release the dust flap here, and then you have a little Allen key area, and you just turn up or down depending on where you want your hop-up to go. So each Tippmann M4 carbine has its own serial number right out of the factory. It'll be right here. So this one has its own number. It also tells you the Tippmann has its own Tippmann arms kind of insignia here, and it also tells you where it's been manufactured as well. So this one was done in Fort Wayne, which is where the Tippmann manufacturing is done at. Also, each one of these replicas is made in the U.S. 100% U.S. made. America. So if you want something that's made in the U.S., this is as American as it gets. For the sling attachments, we have a sling attachment here. So if you decide to keep these rails on, you have a sling attachment here, and you also have an area here to attach a sling to the replica as well. So as well as it being mil-spec, the Tippmann M4 carbine also has the ability to put AEG rails on it as well. It's really specific to what kind you can have and what you can't have, but you can do it. It's been done well, and same thing with the buttstock. Some AEG buttstocks will go on this as well. So if you're not looking for mil-spec stuff, you can definitely stick AEG stuff on here as well. So this replica has two types of propulsion. It has the CO2 magazines, which is the way the replica is set up right now, but it also has the ability to be run off of an HPA line and tank. You do that by going to the bottom here, and you can see there's kind of like a nut in the hand grip. You can take this out, and it allows you to screw on the nipple so you can attach your line to it. As well as inside of the replica, there's a piece that you need to change out. So you can kind of see inside the mag weld, there's a place, that's their puncture valve assembly. You'd be taking this out and switching it in for their HPA set. So as mentioned before, this does run off the CO2 magazines, but it also has the ability to run off bottled CO2 as well, alongside the HPA conversion, which also does HPA as well. So if you're looking to run a bottle, but you don't have an HPA system, since it's an unregulated system, it has no regulator, it doesn't require a regulator to the bottle, you can just plug in a straight CO2 bottle and you can run it just fine. Alright, so as well as these being the proprietary magazines for the Tippmann M4 Carbine, the Tippmann M4 Carbine, once it's hooked up to the HPA or CO2 tank, it can have just about any airsoft AEG magazine. It can be a high capacity or a mid capacity, it doesn't really matter. It can take it once it's turned to the HPA or CO2 bottle conversion. So just keep that in mind. So now we're going to do the breakdown for the replica so you can actually see what's inside and how easy it is to actually get to the parts that you need to maintenance. So, ready? I just have my little punch here and mallet so I don't hurt it. It is a brand new retail model, so it's kind of hard to actually get to it quickly. It hasn't been taken down yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to punch this back pin so you can see the receiver hang. It can hinge on the front pin, and the rear pin you can just let it go, so it actually does do a hinge. So you can see what's inside. Alright, so that's the internals. That's a pretty simple system right here. You have your trigger group right here. You have the puncture valve assembly, and then you have your place where you put oil for maintenance, and you have your ROF adjustment screw. Back here you have your spring for the recoil. So your bolt up here. I'm going to now take off this upper receiver so you can now get more to it. Alright, so now I just disconnected the lower receiver from the upper receiver. Alright, so now we're looking inside. This is where the recoil and the velocity adjustment all happens. So here's where your proprietary hop-up is. It's built to the upper receiver, so you can't take this out. There's no way. Okay, this is built right into it. It's aluminum as well, just like the upper receiver. This is your piston here. So this is the part that actually cycles back and forth to provide the power to the gun, to the replica. And then right here is where you would take this screw out to gut it, and all you do is pull it out. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll just show you how easy it is to actually pull that out. So this is the Allen keys that came with the Tippmann. I'm going to use the correct one to undo this to kind of show you how the actual breakdown for the guts and the top, the upper receiver look. So it's a little tight here. I'm just going to break it. Now it doesn't just explode. Now, it's not explosive. It's not going to come out all at once or anything like that. You don't need to worry about it. It's just a little screw. Pop, pop. And then if you pull this all out, it kind of all just comes out at once. Ta-da! I'm not going to take it out for the purpose of the video. I don't want to have it all over the place, but that's how you do it. The only part here you need to actually maintenance, as far as like general maintenance, is you lube the O-ring here with the white grease that it comes with. So see how there's that O-ring right there? You just lube that. You can take it out. It's pretty simple. Just pull it out and it'll come right out. Then to put it all back together for at least that part, you just stick the screw back in. It's kind of a pretty simple process altogether for taking it apart and actually maintaining it. Now the the velocity adjustment. So we're not chronographing this. There's no point in telling you what the FPS is, because this system, the max FPS is 400, says it on the box, but you can lower it, so it's a variable. So for that, there's a place right here. You literally just stick your Allen key of the appropriate size in there, and you turn it up or down depending on which way you want your velocity to go. So for right now, I'm going to leave it the way it is since it's retail here. Now, moving away from this is pretty much, we've gone over the basic mechanics for the upper. We're going to go to the lower. Now, the lower, to actually get to the trigger group, you'd literally just pop out the fire selector, push up on the trigger, and voila, you have your trigger group here. And to get inside that, you just push these pins in, and then the only part in here you'd actually maintenance, as far as general maintenance, would be taking this apart, and there's a little plunger. So the trigger contacts that silver piece there, which is actually like a plunger of sorts. So when it actually gets pressure, it pushes out. So when you push the trigger in, it allows you to actually pull the trigger and fire the replica. You pull that out, put white grease over it, and stick it back in. pretty simple as far as it. This does have springs in it, so when you do open it up, just be a little careful you don't lose anything. It's crucial to the replica that you don't lose any of those things. I'm going to stick it back in. Simple, easy peasy. Now you can see that I have the puncture valve assembly in here. I'm going to leave it in there, but I'm going to show you the parts that you would need if you were going to go ahead and run this as a HPA. This is it right here. Voila. And all you do is take out the puncture valve assembly and slide out everything here. There's a little Allen key screw right here. Just kind of pop it out, undo it, get into it. Take this out, and then slide this into this, slide the silvered piece, the O-ring part inside of there, and then there you go, HPA, as long as you have the nipple in. So it's worth mentioning with this particular airsoft gun that the barrel inside is of good quality, but it's worth upgrading, definitely. As far as being on the upgrade list of things to do for this particular airsoft replica, the barrel is top priority. You can definitely put a better one in there. The bucking is okay, but most people like to switch it out with G&G green bucking. So this is all afternotes kind of stuff, if that's something that you want to do as far as the future of the airsoft replica. So putting it back together is just as easy as taking it apart. All you have to do is line up the holes on the receiver. As you can see here and there, there's places for the pins. Line them up, make sure they're all set. Make sure the receiver doesn't have any cracks in it. Also, it's worth noting here that slamming it shut is not a good idea. There's the little tabs at the end. They tend to crack because, again, this is aluminum construction, so aluminum isn't as solid as steel. Just keep that in mind. I'm going to use the front pin kind of went in a little easier, but the back pin on this one doesn't really like to go in, so I'm going to use the mallet, kind of give it an impact here. Voila. And just make sure everything's lined up. Hey, we're good.
Bring it in and show me.
That's putting it back together. Okay. All right, so now we're heading out to the Combat Zone Sports fields to go test this out so you guys can see it in action. So let's head on out. All right, so we're walking out of the field. We're gonna go test fire it, kind of show you how far the distance is. We're not gonna chronograph it because there's no point. This has a variable adjustment in it, so we don't need to chronograph it because you can change the velocity, no problem. Also, it's worth mentioning that while we're out here, this has a 1-year parts warranty. So if anything does happen while we're shooting it, I'm not too worried. Tippmann will replace it. It's 100% bulletproof, really, and their customer service is on point. It's super good. All right, so come on, let's go shoot this thing. So we're here on Combat Zone Sports field. We're gonna shoot at a target about 100 feet away with .2s. The source we're using for our power is going to be the 12-gram CO2 cartridge for the magazine. We're not going to convert it to HPA. You'll get a much better consistency with the line, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to keep it as stock as possible. So this is the way it came out of the box. So we're going to take off the barrel plug here. Sit that on the ground. And again, about a target 100 feet away, we're going to go do semi first. And to do the magazines, you kind of got to really, I guess, rack it. It takes a lot of force to get the magazine in. So here we go. Target about 100 feet away, semi. All right, now we're gonna go full auto. We're getting out to our target 100 feet away, no problem. I'm gonna shoot at a target about 200 feet now. All right, now we're just gonna finish it off on semi, so I can kind of pull the trigger as fast as possible. Now again, you can turn the ROF up or down, so this isn't the rate of fire that you're gonna see if you wanna alter that. All right, that's it. Ta-da! That's it. .2s, 100, and then 150 feet target, no problem. That concludes our Tippmann M4 Carbine review done here at Combat Zone Sports in Merritt Island, Florida. This gun is 10 out of 10 in my books. It definitely has the capacity to be an HPA gun and a GBB, as well as being a great gun right out of the box. Thanks for stopping by and watching this video. We're going to be doing more reviews like this in the future here at Combat Zone Sports. So keep an eye out for that. If you like what you see, leave a like and subscribe for us, and we'll make sure to bring out more of this for you. You can buy this gun at your local retailer or online at tippmansports.com.
Hey guys, this is Papa Bear from Beginners Airsoft Player. I'm here with Liam from East Coast Reconnaissance, and we're live at Combat Zone in Merritt Island to tell you about a collaboration program we've got going on.